All right, so our first story this time is Substack's value climbs over $1 billion, and that might not be good. According to Brian Morrissey at the Rebooting, this value may not be typical growth capital, so it may not actually be $1 billion. And it is a sign that Substack is probably going to be making a shift. Substack's only brought in $45 million in revenue so far, which means that this valuation of $1 billion is based on Substack's probable potential, as opposed to what it's actually producing. Thank you, Cami. I think it's nice. Now, Substack has dragged its feet over monetizing for ads. Its founders claimed that they didn't want to do advertising because then that turns it into a blog with all the ads popping up, and no one likes that. But it does feel like an obvious next step for them. Another potential feature they could be doing is like the bundle subscription, to where if you got like the Substack One subscription, then you get subscriptions to everyone who is participating in that program. Really interesting comparison that this article author made, Brian Morrissey, is that Substack is closer to OnlyFans than it is to YouTube, and a lot of people don't like that. They get really uncomfortable with that. But what OnlyFans does, besides what everyone knows that it does, in terms of its model, is that there is a closer connection or relationship between the creator and between the subscriber. It just feels way closer, and Substack is actually doing a way better job of imitating that than YouTube is, because YouTube always presents itself as a middleman. There's always ads unless you're paying for it. YouTube's algorithm factors in heavily to everything. Whereas Substack is more of the subscriber mentality. As soon as the creator creates something, you get an email telling you. And that's kind of what Substack is doing, and that's really marketable right now, is that close relationship. One thing that the author does complain about is that Substack is an email platform, but you can't do basic email things like segmentation. There's no granulation, so you can't figure out, well, why does this reader like this thing and this reader doesn't like this thing? And then, of course, if you've been going through Substack lately, it's like a worse LinkedIn. Creators are trying to grow subscriber bases through, let's everyone lift. If you follow me, I'll follow you. Comment under here, and I will follow every comment. And so Substack it's kind of losing value in that sense, and whereas the actual participation value coming from. But still, this value climbing like that means Substack is a very good platform to get started on. If you can get into that top 1% on Substack, or top 10% even, you can probably see really good mileage from using Substack. Of course, Thomas can't be with us today, so I pulled up AI Thomas on his website, and I asked it, what do you think about Substack's value climbing over $1 billion? And this is what Robot Thomas says. From an author's perspective, Substack's value really lies in its email-centric approach, which means you own your relationship with your readers. That's a huge step up from traditional social media platforms where the company controls your connection. They also have a very creator-friendly philosophy, which means they don't censor your content for political reasons, unlike some other platforms that have gotten into trouble for that. Now, I'm going to comment on that because if they move into the advertising sphere, advertisers will be able to dictate who's going to be on the platform and who's not, because now their money is involved. And if advertisers are going to pull advertising money because of a certain creator, then the platform's going to want to try to accommodate and negotiate, and that's where you're going to get more into the censorship model. So if Substack moves that way, that's something you need to be looking out for. Everyone's like, thank you, AI Thomas.